Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to make Paul's, man himself, Paul Hollywood, his rainbow colored bagels. So I have not done a bagel, so I'm excited to give these a try. And aside from the button meringues, these probably have the fewest amount of ingredients of anything in this book. So um, we have 375 grams of strong white bread flour already in my bowl, ready to go. And then we just need to add the yeast, 5 grams of fast action dried yeast. It says to add it to one side of the bowl. And then the sugar, I have 2 teaspoons of castor sugar and 1 teaspoon of fine salt. And it says to add that to the other side of the bowl. So I guess just like that. And then I'm going to add lukewarm water. So I have 240 milliliters of lukewarm water. It doesn't say a temperature, which is a little annoying. So I'm hoping that my warm to the touch, and that's really about it. Water is good, but I need to add 3/4 of the water to the thing. I'm going to eyeball that. I'm not really going to, and it doesn't say to like mix that before. So 3/4 of the water. Okay. And then I'm just supposed to mix with my fingers. So turn the mixture with your fingers. I'm going to try to save this hand to be clean just in case I need it for something until this gets a little bit more put together. Okay. It just says to mix it. It doesn't say how long. And then it just says to add the remaining water a little at a time. All right, so all the water is in there, and as much of the flour that's going to be incorporated is going to be in there. And it says I'm supposed to have a rough dough. So that's kind of what I have there. Okay. Now I'm going to flour my surface lightly underneath my bowl here. It's probably way too much flour. It's probably plenty. Okay, and then I just need to turn this out and knead for 5 to 10 minutes until I have a soft, smooth ball. So this will be quite the transformation if this turns into a soft, smooth ball. But anyway, I will give this a go for about 5 to 10 minutes. That is pretty amazing. Look at how smooth it is. I mean, it's about 6 minutes of kneading, and it looks really good. Like, compared to what I started with, that's an impressive transformation. I'm just impressed. Okay, now to make these rainbow bagels, we do need to add some color. So I'm going to divide this into 5 equal pieces as best as I am able. I don't like that we need to divide it into uneven numbers. Like, give me like 6 so I can, cut it in half a bunch. Though we've seen in the past, I'm also not very good at that. I don't know. I probably should have my gram scale out. I guess it doesn't matter if they're a little off, because then I'll just have a little bit more red or purple, or I guess there's no purple, red or yellow than I would green or blue, whatever. Okay, so there's my 5 equal pieces. So I'm just going to add my color to each chunk. So I'm going to start with red because, that's the first color. It says 3 pea-size drops. I'm just going to get whatever I can out of this because I need some new colors. Ooh, that should be pretty brightly red. All right, and then I just fold it up around the coloring and knead to an even color. My hands are going to look good. going to come back to this one because it's not getting a uniform color. So I'm just going to set it to the side and see if the other colors work out a little bit better. So let's move on to the orange one and see. Because, yeah, I had to do all sorts of stretching just to get it to there. And I don't know. And I added a lot more color. It says to do that if you need more to add some more as you go. But man, I'm hoping it's just the type of food coloring I used. I just had some red left and I was just using that one. Okay, that one's turning out a little bit better. New camera angle. I'm having technical difficulties again, so you're just going to deal with this angle for now. Yeah, a little bit better with the orange, but we'll see. I mean, you have to really pull and stretch it to get the color inside instead of just on the outside. So we'll see how these other ones go. That red one's looking a little bit more marbled than any of these. Oh well. Again, it's just an aesthetic thing, right? Like, if it doesn't look rainbowed, it's not the end of the world. But that's kind of the cool part about this recipe, because, I mean, otherwise it's just a bagel, right? Anyway, yellow. I think I would skip the colors on these. Green. These are not going to be uniform color. I'm tired of kneading. I mean, this just to this point, it's taken over 10 minutes, and I've still got to do blue. It doesn't want to incorporate very well, and it takes a lot of kneading. Like, and you have to stretch it and pull it because then the color just kind of hides in there. I don't know. I don't mind the marbling look. I don't think the marbling look is going to look great with a rainbow. So I would maybe pick a color and then just do like a marbled bagel. That would be kind of cool. Then you'd only have to knead, one giant chunk instead of all of these. But yeah, I mean, yeah, look, it starts off really vibrant, and then by the time you get it worked into the rest of the dough, yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'm just impatient. It's a theme with my videos. And technical difficulties never make me feel good about where I'm at. Hard drive space is a thing. Yeah, I don't have it. Anyway, so we're going to finish up the blue here. And then I'm just going to put these into some greased bowls. You can see them back here. I've already got some bowls greased and ready to go. I might go back to the red one, but I don't want a chance turning it purple after. Look at my hands. Anyway, it might just be a marbled red, which is fine. So yeah, when I'm done with the blue, I'll just put those in those bowls, and then we're just supposed to let them rise for about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how much it doubles. It's supposed to double in size. So I'm also going to cover it with a damp tea towel and leave it in a warm place, I guess. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do after I get this blue done. Okay, it's been about 45 minutes. The bagel pieces, I don't know, the dough is looking pretty good. Some of them look more like they've risen double more than others, but some of the pieces were probably just bigger. Again, it has that marble look. I mean, I'm not too worried about it, I guess. Also, by the way, I kind of fixed my my technological issue. Hopefully it stays. If you see a random jump again, I had to revamp again. Okay, so I'm going to take my dough, and what I've got to do is roll them out into 20 by 12 centimeter rectangles. So I've got a lightly floured work surface, and I'm just I've got my ruler, as you can see, because again, the metric system is not my first language. So I'm gonna try to stay as close to the 12 by 20 as I can. But for that, I need a little assistance. It's about half of my rolling pin and about the length of it. So okay, so I think that's about 12. That's about 12. It's a little over 20. But just kind of smush it, and I rolled it a little too flat. Anyway, so I've got to do that with all five, the other four, and then I'm going to stack them. So I'm just going to leave the red one. Well, maybe I'll move it over here just a little bit. It's on my screen. Yeah. And then I'm going to just do that in order for each one, and so that I can get them all kind of layered up and ready to go. Okay, guys, I'm pretty proud of that. That actually rolled out relatively uniform. I'm not sure how people do them in perfect squares or rectangles. That is as close as I am going to ever get. All right. So now I'm going to try to cut these. Let me see. Yep. Turn the pager on this one. All right. Cut the stacked dough into 6 20 by 2 centimeter slices. So I'm making 6 bagels. So I need to do this by 2 centimeters. Does that work? I mean, yeah. Okay. So that's about 2 centimeters. The last two are a little bit wider than 2 centimeters, not by much, but they're a little bit wider than the other ones. Okay, so now I'm going to take one of these. I'm just going to move these guys off to the side a little bit. And I'm supposed to lay one on your work surface, place the palm of your hands at each end, simultaneously gently move your right hand forward and your left hand back to twist the dough. Oh, I'm just making a twist. Okay, so I'm just making it look all pretty, like a lollipop or something. And then twist the dough, press the ends together, form a circle, and gently roll to combine. This has been my worry, is like to make sure that this combines. Like, I don't know, gently roll. That's all it says. Is this going to stick together? Or am I going to get bagel strips instead of bagels? Okay, that actually combined really well with the colors too. And then I need to repeat with all the strips. I'm going to place them on my baking sheets. Got it back here, so I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, there is number 6. So I have to leave these to brew for 20 minutes, I think it is. Yeah, I'm going to put them in a proving bag, which is just going to be a big plastic bag because we don't have those, and then leave them to brew for 20 minutes until risen and puffed up. All right, it's been about 20 minutes. My bagels, I'll give you a look here. Oh, if I can get them out of the bag. They look really good. They puffed up a little bit. They didn't, I don't know if I'd say they rose, but they puffed up. I've got a large pot of water just about boiling, ready to go. I've got my oven being preheated to 200 degrees Celsius, which is about 390 degrees Fahrenheit. So what we need to do, I'm going to go ahead and get these guys out. Okay. We are going to take our bagels and plunge them into the boiling water for about 30 seconds on each side, and then we'll bake them for about 25 minutes. So first off, I need to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda to my boiling water. Apparently that's what gives it kind of the chewy texture. And then I just need to put these in for 30 seconds on each side. And it said you could do basically as many as your pot allows. So I'm going to try to get 3 in. And set my timer for 30 seconds and flip them over 30 seconds more. And then I put them right back onto the baking sheet. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. I hope they stick together. I'm still a little worried that they're not going to stick together and stay in a ring shape, but we'll see. This is where I imagine they would fall apart. They look like they're puffing up a little bit, so maybe that's a good sign. All right, we're close. Okay, that's been about 30 seconds. I'm going to flip, keeping track of which one I flipped already. Okay. Now it doesn't necessarily say to drain it or anything. It just says to put them back on the baking sheet. So I'm just going to do that because it's been the 30 seconds. That was kind of stupid. It also says to use a slotted spoon, and there's my first casualty. They are not staying together. I didn't think they would. That's too bad. I'm not sure how else you would get these out. Okay. 30 seconds more on each side. Okay, that's been a minute for these guys. See if I can get them out without tearing them apart. Oh, that one might stay together. These ones definitely puffed up. Man. Okay. My oven is ready to go. I don't know if you heard it go off just a minute ago, but I'm going to put these guys in for 25 to 30 minutes until cooked through. I don't know if it's supposed to brown up or not, but we'll see. Okay, it's been right at 25 minutes, so I'm going to take them out because they are browning a little bit. Maybe more than just a little bit. But that was 25 minutes. And they're a little browned, but that's okay. Hopefully they're not overdone. Anyway, I'll give them just a minute. I'm going to move them onto my wire rack here to let them cool. Okay, I think my bagels have cooled. They look pretty. They're a little browner than I probably would have liked, but they did turn out well. They're definitely a rainbow. The ones that did come apart in the baking soda kind of came back together. I pushed them together a little bit right before I threw them in the oven, and they came back together in the bake. They hold together. I wouldn't like cut them together, but I went ahead and cut one apart. So the colors are all throughout, so that's really neat. Um, they look good. It's a nice soft texture. The outside is definitely crispy. When I was cutting through it, it was hard to get that initial cut, but it did work. So let's give them a taste. It's a bagel. It definitely has a crispy outer texture, maybe a little bit more crispy than chewy, like most bagels that I've had. But it is good. It's just a bagel flavor. There's no, there's no character. There's no fluff. I did put cream cheese on half because that's how I normally eat bagels. So I'm just gonna give them off. We'll try that. I mean, I like it with cream cheese, so that definitely makes it better to me. Nothing wrong with that recipe, just simple. But that is the newest one from Love to Bake. It took a while just because of the kneading and the colors. It didn't really come together like it kind of said it would. It didn't necessarily say how long it would take to knead, but they came out very vibrant. So if you're looking for a very colorful bagel, choose your color options and make it work. But anyway, I will see you next bake.